So today we continue with our laws of Shabbat. Today is class number 40, and we start with Sefer Shmiras Lashon. Second. We start with Sefer Shmiras Lashon, and today's topic: disciples of Aaron. Okay. The Gemara's the greatness of the peace can be seen from the following incident recorded in Talmud, Ta'anit 22a. Okay, 22a. Okay. Rav Beroka of Bei Chazai would frequent the marketplace of the Bei Lefet. The prophet Eliyahu often appeared to him. Once Rav Beroka said to Rav Eliyahu, "Is there anyone in the marketplace who is destined for the world to come?" So it's very interesting. So it's a good question. So he said, "Isn't anybody righteous here?" All right. So Eliyahu, the Hanovi, of course, he should know. In the meantime, two other people entered the marketplace. Eliyahu said to Beroka, "These are destined to the world to come." Rav Beroka approached them and asked, "What do you do?" They replied, "We are comedians, and we go to cheer up those who are depressed." Okay, let me see that is commentary. They devoted their comic talent solely for such situation, and thus acted for the sake of heaven, meaning to cheer people up. Okay. Additionally, whenever we see the two people involved in a quarrel, we strive hard to make peace between them. So basically, they say, well, what is their achievement? What is their profession? They're comedians. They try to cheer people up, which is, as we can see, is a big thing. Okay. Hillel said, "Be among the disciples of Aaron, following peace and pursue it, loving people and bringing them closer to Torah." Right. So when you love somebody, as our dear Rabbi Reuven said many times, it's not just keep quiet. If you love somebody, you try to bring him closer to Torah. That's mean that you love somebody. Otherwise, you hate. It's from Turkey Avos 1:12. Be among the disciples of Aaron is to secure for oneself place in the world to come. Right. So that's it's not just because you treat somebody good. It's not all for free. It's not like you're losing out. You're securing yourself the place in the world to come, which is a good promise. With regard to the other sources of merit of the two men, one should note the importance of helping others to rid themselves of their anguish and worries. So all of us have all the worries and anguishes about parnasa, about zivuk, to find the soulmate, about children and this and that, and how I'm going to survive, how this, how that, all of this that is going on around us. Okay. To do so is to fulfill the mitzvah. You shall love your fellow as yourself, meaning that you're on a higher level. Help somebody. Don't be judgmental. Just tell them how cute you can do that. No, don't. Just take it easy. Try to help him. Try to go to his level. Try to and understand his personal situation. Help him. It says in Vayikra 19:18. Continue. Moreover, this brings immeasurable pleasure to HaShem, as it were, when we try to help each other. We can liken this to the father whose son is experiencing worry and suffering. Surely the father will experience great relief and joy if someone offers his son moral support. That's big, right? And he overcomes his distress. Similarly, the Jewish people are all considered Hashem's children. So when you help somebody, so I remember many years ago, I was in some kind of very depressed state. Not very, but a depressed state. And then some person just had conversation, I don't know, 2 minutes about nothing, about his vacation. And if that 2 minutes was many years ago, so it changed like everything in me. So sometimes just stop by and say hello to somebody, talk, ask him how he's doing, stuff like that. 1 minute, 2 minutes, it can change, affect personal life, his life. Okay. So we continue with the laws of Shabbat, and we are on halach of laundry. And what we said last time. Okay, so let me quickly read the summary. It will be faster than I tried to explain. And we just explained what we said last time. So it says, it is forbidden to saturate fabric, even the dory liquid. The prohibition applied if. So we were talking about the dory fabric. What is what difference does it make? Because the definitions of laundry, that something was dory and you try to make it clean. So if you use dory liquid, for sure you're not making the fabric clean, right? So in some cases it is true, some cases it's not true. So when the prohibition applies, the fabric is so saturated that a hand with touches transfer the moisture to another article. So we said it's very wet. Okay. Then we said the liquid is clear. So meaning if it's a dory water or it's not that wet, there is no problem, right? So the dory water, no problem. The liquid is clear, problem. The fabric is of the next one. That fabric of the type that one cares wring out. For example, clothing. So it was a spill. He wiped off the spill with his piece of clothing, and now, okay, it's he wants to preserve it. He wants to wring it. That would be the problem. So in other words, if he would if he wipe it with something like disposable, there is no worry that we don't have any suspicion that he's going might drink it out. He's going to throw up. That's the solution. When cleaning up a spill, one should bear in mind the rules, these rules, and also bear in mind the prohibition of dying. So dying, we said it's one of the we never learned it, but B'ezrat HaShem, it's coming up very soon. So dying meaning that they would dye the wool, right, to red color or to what is it, purple, all this, not purple, red and what is it, blue color, right? Is hilazon. Okay. When fabric has been saturated and meet the preceding criteria, it may not be moved until it dries. However, the two people may carry it together. So anyway, we explained why you cannot move it, because it becomes muktzah. Muktzah is a forbidden article that you're not allowed to move until, as they say here, it's not exactly muktzah, because muktzah until the end of the Shabbos. They say until it dries. So when it dries, there is no problem. You can move it around. Okay, but they say two people may carry it, and we had the discussion. Basically, why two people? Because they're going to remind each other not to ring it. Okay, so two people always better than one. Next one, clothing that one may wear or intended to wear does not become muktzah as by being saturated. So we said the example was we said we were coming from the shul Friday night and it got caught in the rain. So all of the clothing are wet. So you can dry it up, dry it out, and you can wear next day. Whenever it dry, there is no problem. Okay. Next one, the last one. The laundry that was wet throughout the Ben Hashemashos is a muktzah and may not be moved for the entire Shabbos unless one's certain that it would dry completely on Shabbos. Okay, so what we said about it. So if he would dry like outside and it's I don't know, like winter day, fall day, so it's not like summer. In summer, of course, I mean, if it's next day is hot, you check the weather forecast, it's going to be, I don't know, a lot of 95 degrees. So there is no problem. So the only issue would be The only issue would be when we're not sure, like in the winter, in the fall, in the spring, maybe it's going to be cold, so it's never going to be dry, right? So if you know that it's going to be dry, or you use a dryer, so there is no problem. You can set up dryer, and it's going to dry up the clothing, and you can wear it on Shabbos. Even we said, even if it's dry on Shabbos. So you put before Shabbos. You put it in a dry before Shabbos. It was drying on before Ben Hashemashos. I mean before the sunset. During the sunset and until nightfall, there is no problem whatsoever, because you knew that it's going to finish drying on Shabbos. So, and we said it can be compared to our light bulb, right? You turn it on, that's it. You don't do anything else, so you can derive all of the benefit. You can come and read and do whatever you need in that room. Any questions on what we said so far? Anybody? Good. Okay. So
sorry, can I ask something?
Yes.
I was the other day, the last Shabbat, a clothing went wet, by accident. What can we do in that case? Because I used to make derive benefit from used water. Can we put it dirty to fix this error?
Could you just 1 second? So your clothing got wet, right? Let's say no?
Yes, I had a piece of clothing and it went wet by accident.
Okay, so
yes.
So let's say here's the situation. You're drinking water and you spill water on your shirt, right? Can we say that?
Not exactly by accident, more like I forgot.
You forgot. Okay, you forgot. Okay, then what? Okay, I got it. Accident. Okay, go ahead. And then what?
And I let the piece of clothing there without any further move, no touching it.
Okay.
How is the correct way to fix this issue of forgetting?
Okay, so basically, okay, so what if I understand you correctly, right? So you some piece of clothing got wet by accident. I would say maybe you left something in a sink, right? In a sink, and then
yes,
you open
in the
water.
sink.
So
yes.
whoa! What did they do? Right? So
yes.
Okay, so basically, you can move this piece of clothing, right? And then you can hang out somewhere. So if you need the sink, so you can move it if you that like right away. Right?
No, the sink was not obstructing the drainage. It was okay. I let the clothing there.
Okay.
That's
so I mean, if you just leave it there, there's no problem whatsoever.
Okay.
That's I would say it's a proper way to leave it there, unless you need the sink. So if you need the sink, so you can, in this case, you can move it.
All right. Okay.
Let me explain what he's asking, right? So he said that it was a clean water, so clean. So let's say that that piece of clothing, let's say it was dirty, right? It was used.
Yes.
Your t-shirt, yes. Right? It was used, right? And
yes.
then he opened the sink. So in
yes.
some sense, he soaked. It's a first step of laundry is soaking, right? So and it's forbidden, but he did not do it in purpose. So if you don't need the sink and it's not obstructing the drainage, so you can leave it there, and it will be proper until the end of the showers.
Okay. Thanks.
Right? But if you need it, so it would be different thing. I mean, you need to wash your face, to wash your hands later on. So that's a different issue. But otherwise, just leave it there.
Oh.
Okay. Continue. All right, so let's, any other questions, or we continue? All right, so let's continue then, and then we're going to get questions, of course. All right, so we continue part number 5. We're on page, if somebody following, 188. And topic is additional prohibition relating to laundry. Hanging up wet clothing. Okay, so that's what we just said. Okay, hanging up wet clothing. There is a situation in which a person does a permissible act, but nevertheless gives an impression that he is doing something prohibited. In many of these situations, the sage is prohibited doing the permissible act because of the appearance of the wrongdoing. The prohibition in Torah maris ayin, literally the way I see. The person doing an action may be suspected of wrongdoing by others, and they may be consequently, one, think that he think or speak badly of him, and two, mistakenly learn from his actions to permit things that are actually forbidden. Okay, so let's stop here and understand what it says. So I'm sure you all heard about this concept of marisain. Marisain is translated the way I see, right? So meaning for bystanders, so they saw this Jew, your neighbors saw that you did some action. So in this action, he would hang up this wet clothing. So like in a case of that Israel just gave us. So if you, for example, if you permitted, if you did it by accident and you need the sink, there is no problem. You can hang it somewhere, right, to dry. Something in the bathroom, or as you guys will call it, washroom, stuff like that. There is no problem. But to take it outside would be a problem. Well, what is the problem? Well, that people would think that you did not spill it by accident. You just did it. You did laundry on Shabbat. That's a big problem. Even you did not do anything wrong, and you try to be strict with everything that you do in your life, but it can give people impression that you did something wrong. So they can derive two conclusions. First, that you are not Shomer Shabbos, which is a big thing, right? And speak badly of you, which is it's like we learned this rules of Shmiras Lashon, not to speak badly. And now, like you see, it's hard for people. They saw with their own eyes the action. Israel come out on a balcony, on a porch, and with a wet T-shirt, and he hang it right to dry. For sure, he was doing that. What else you can see? Okay, of course, as we all know, or we should know, that if we know that person is kosher, we know that he's kosher Jew, Shomer Shabbos, we have to give him benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt, we have to say exactly as Israel told us. He forgot by mistake. He had a headache and this take, that take, and he was not looking. Opened the water in faucet, and this shirt got wet. Okay, that's what we must think about all of the kosher Jews. But if somebody is not kosher Jew, we know for sure that he's not Shomer Shabbos. We have no right to think about it. We said that's what he did. He made the laundry on Shabbos. Okay.
Hey, let's say there's a Jew, right? He never kept Shabbos, but he said, I'm going to start keeping Shabbos. And you see him take his shirt out. Do you have to judge him favorably or not favorably?
In this case, there is no judgment because he does not know. So when person is trying to get closer, we judge him always favorably, always. If he's trying to live in the two worlds for the past 10 years, there is no favorite judgment. But many times, like if person does not know and he comes, so in this case you're allowed, and he does not observe Shabbos 100%. Why? Because he does not know the laws. But in this case, you're allowed to call him to the Torah among the first 7 people, right? So I'm learning in my other class about calling up people to the Torah. So it says there clearly. So for the sake of peace, if needed, if you know that somebody is not Shomer Shabbos, not, so you can call him as number 8 person or number 9, right? So in some synagogues, when there are many people and 7 aliyahs simply not enough, or the holidays are coming, so 5 aliyahs not enough, so they try to add a few extra, plus it makes some money. Okay, and so first thing that they might think of you badly, right? And second, they say that they might learn that this action is permitted, and this is the most, I think, my personal opinion, this is even more dangerous than the first one, because I know many people that that I met in different periods of my life, and I asked them to learn, and they said, absolutely not, I'm not going to learn. I'm sure Shabbos, I'm not going to learn. I don't have time, I could do this or that. So I told all these people, but if you never went over the laws of Shabbat once in your life, for sure, guarantee, what is my guarantee? 100%. 100%. Every Shabbat, you don't even know what is permitted, what is forbidden. How can you be Shomer Shabbat? So basically, but these people learn. They have they absorb what's going on, right? They absorb, and based on this, so they derive that this is the law. Just because they see somebody they think more religious than them doing something, so they decide this is the law. Okay, and it's a big mistake. Okay, so that's why we cannot give other people impression that this is allowed in a way that they understand. They didn't see the accident before, right? They just see that we are hanging our wet shirt outside. That's the problem. Okay, continue. Due to the prohibition of marrying, it is forbidden to hang wet clothing up to dry on Shabbos. Okay, that's clear. We're not allowed. So as we said, in your house, when you got caught in the rain, so you're allowed. There is no problem. No, nobody sees you. Even if clothing became wet accidentally, for example, in a rainstorm, one is forbidden to hang up to dry in this fashion, in which laundered clothing are hanged. So basically, people do not know that it was last night, it was rain. I mean, they say maybe they did laundry just 15 minutes ago, next morning, right? Because onlookers might suspect that the person washed garments on Shabbos. They already forgot it was rainstorm and they did not go to shul, and you did go to shul. You got wet, they're not wet. So why would somebody dry anything outside, right? This prohibition applies to a garment that is saturated to the degree that if person touches them and touches another object, will transfer the moisture to the other object. So basically, they say here that this prohibition to dry out the clothing is only when they are very wet. When you touch your shirt and you touch another object, and this object would be wet. So the way I understand why they say this condition is because from outside it's visible whether the object is this piece of clothing completely wet, or it just you just want to wear you want to air out something, right? Maybe it's not wet, or it's just a little wet. So, but I'm not sure if somebody is looking at it from the distance. I'm not sure if it makes any difference to him. Okay. Continue. Limits to this prohibition. The prohibition of hanging up wet clothing applies to hanging in the areas where laundering the clothes are normally hanging to dry. That's very interesting. This includes the outdoor clothes lines, indoor clothes racks, laundry room, and bathroom. The prohibition does not apply, however, to the hanging the wet clothing in an area not specifically used for hanging freshly laundered clothing to dry. Thus, it is permitted to hang the wet clothing in a closet where the dry clothing is not normally hanged. Right? It is only the dry clothing normally hang. It is also permissible to hang wet towel on the article of clothing over the back of the chair. So basically, they say that it's very interesting. It depends also where are you going to hang. So it's in a place where usually some people dry the clothing outside. So if they do that and they would put the shirt to dry on the same clothing line, that's the problem, because people would think that you laundered. But if in some unusual manner, so you have a chair, let's say outside standing, or you have a porch or something, balcony, you have a chair there, so you will put it on the back of the chair. So I mean, there is no problem there, according to this explanation. right? Or they put it in a closet. It's not a good idea to put it in a closet wet clothing because it can spoil everything. But if he did so, I said there is no problem because people don't do that. Or he put it in a kitchen or in his living room, right? Nobody dries the clothes in the living room. So okay. So 1 second. Okay, so continue. Furthermore, it is permitted to hang wet clothing in the area normally reserved for drying laundry, if it is hung in a manner that unusual for laundry. For example, a garment or a towel may be hung in a crumpled manner, shape, since this will make the obvious that it was not laundered. Similarly, it is permissible to hang up a wet article that is visibly dirty in an area normally reserved for drying clean laundry. Okay, so here's two different dispensations, right? So first one is when you put it even outside. We're talking about outside, even in the clothing when they usually dry out the clothing in a crumpled manner, meaning you can see that is it's like that's not the way you dry. When you dry, you want to try to make it nice, so it would would dry faster and stuff like that. Okay, so this is not the case. And second, if it's visibly dirty. So, for example, you got caught in the rain and it was mud and this and that, so you have big stain. So everybody see you did not launder. You just want it dry. You don't care whether it's whether it is clean or not clean. Okay. Continue. Any questions on what we said? Good, clear. Okay. So continue. Articles that are normally dry cleaned. Okay. Some poskim rule that preceding prohibition does not apply to items that are normally dry cleaned. For example, coats, suits. If they become soaked, they may be hanged in the area normally reserved for drying laundry, since nobody would suspect that the person of having washed them in water. Right. So I mean, no normal person would wash their suit in water. I mean, if you do that, you ruin the suit. You have to you can throw it out. That's it. So if somebody got caught in the rain, so he can put it dry in a regular manner, so nobody was going to suspect him, which is very interesting insight. Okay, next one. Hang it wet clothing in a hot area. It is forbidden to place a wet clothing or towel near any source of heat, where the water absorbed in it can heat it to scalding temperature. Yad Soledas Bo. So Yad Soledas Bo, it's they say 110 degrees Fahrenheit. See Shabbos kitchen. Okay. If the water is heated to that extent, one commits melacha of cooking, bishul, as well as the melacha of bleaching. What is it? Melabain. Okay. Since the hot water purges the fabric of dirt. Okay, so let's stop here. Okay, so let's try to understand. So you have, let's say, by the way, I forgot to check. In Canada, you go by meters, by Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Yes, sorry. I was about to say that because in Argentina we go with Celsius. So what
Celsius,
will be the temperature?
Okay.
That's 110 Fahrenheit. At Celsius, I think that's about 41 or 43, something like that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Okay. So we'll try to accommodate everybody. Okay. All right. So we said on Shabbos we're not allowed to turn off the heat. So it was an old tradition, of course, before the invention of plata, right? So we use what? We use a blech. So I don't know if people know what the blech is. I just quickly explain. for people who do not know. So you have your stove, and you leave one burner on. So especially in modern like burner, it's the best because you have 5 of them. You have 4 around and 1 in the middle. So it's I mean, they started making them maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. So all right, so you have this burner in the middle. You leave the burner for the whole Shabbat, and you cover it with a sheet of metal from aluminum, right? And basically you can keep your food, whatever you're allowed to warm up on Shabbos. Not everything is allowed to be warm up. So whatever you are allowed to warm up, you can warm up. But at the area above the blech, it's very hot. And when it's there for a long time, like let's say, sometimes you have to open the windows because it becomes too hot, right? Too hot. So, and if you hang something that's wet around that area, so I mean, maybe right above the blech even, right? So it's very possible that, of course, you want to dry this towel, wherever you want to dry, it's going to dry very fast, but it's good. The problem is that it's going to cook water, right? And what is the definition of cooking water? Cooking in general. I just give you a big idea, so we're going to explain later on. So everything that is above the temperature of Yatz Ledas Bo. So the Yatz Ledas Bo translates as you touch something like a hot, you have a pot on your stove, you touch, and your hand recoils because it's too hot. So these temperatures, of course, our sages did not have any thermometers and stuff like that, any other gauges to determine the temperature. So they call it Yatz Ledas Bo. So when you cannot hold your hand. I mean, we're talking about normal people. Some people the insensitive, they can go like on high temperature. For normal people, you would take the hand back, right? So this is temperature Yatz Ledas Bo, and we say that above everything, above this temperature, everything is going to cook. Almost everything. It's going to cook to a certain degree, right? So and we say that if water would warm, of course it's not going to bubble, and of course not. But even to that temperature, it's considered to be cooking, right? So basically, you can hang this wet towel or wet shirt in the kitchen. There is no problem. It's never going to get to that type of temperature. But very close to this blech, above the blech, absolutely not.
I have a question. Quick question.
Please.
So you have to create a blech on top of an oven, on top of a stove, correct?
Yes.
Do you have to do that for a plata also?
For plata, short. I'm trying to give you a short answer, but it's a. So it depends what kind of plata. Let's put it this way. It depends. The platas come in two different designs, right? The one that sell here, I don't know if you heard this neighborhood Borough Park. You ever heard the Borough Park? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's very religious place. I would say in North America, it's South America, of course. Maybe it's number 2 or 3 religiosity. So that's how religious it is, right? So they sell there. They have a big like department stores, not department like all of this houseware and stuff like that. The simplest platters, the simplest. Other people they would not even touch it, but this is the most kosher ones. So the most kosher one would be without the regulator. So you cannot adjust the temperature more or less. So it keeps only one temperature. So and the explanation is why is that? Because you're not going to be tempted to raise the temperature. For example, if you know that you're late, this and that, and guests are coming, and guess what, your mother-in-law is coming, and she's always complaining that in this house, people, okay, all right, so in order for her not to complain, you will be tempted to raise the temperature, which is absolutely not allowed. So, but if you don't have this regulator, right, I mean, what can you do? That's the only temperature. You understand? So the proper way, just to remind yourself that you're not cooking. So some people, no problem. Some people put a sheet of aluminum foil.
Oh,
So
for the
this
reminder.
sheet of aluminum foil, just to remind you, you show not only you show everybody. It's not my intention to cook. It's not my intention. But if it can go up in a temperature, that's in this case you need the second blech. So what we do, we put on this even platter. You say second blech. What is second blech? So it's one of the aluminum, this disposable container. You put it upside down, and on top you put whatever you do. So that's a proper kosher way to warm up the food. Why is that? Because nobody is cooking this way. So you show to the whole world, I'm not cooking. Nobody cooking top of the pot on top of the another pot. Nobody's cooking like that. So it would be according to all of them. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, well, but let's just say there's no regulator. If it's just one temperature at all time that's preset in the system, no switch or anything. What do you do in that?
If it can go, okay. So if it can go to Yatzaladas ball, so this temperature is as you said, you said 43 degrees. Let's say if you say 43 plus one, whatever. I mean, we got the point. So if that your hand is recoiled, it's so hot, so it's already capable of cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So if it's capable of cooking, so you need to show to everybody, it's not my intention to cook.
So you still need to put the aluminum foil.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And of course it goes without saying for a regular stove, which is very capable of cooking. Right? Okay. So continue.
Let's say I don't know. You accidentally put your hand into a fire or something during on Shabbat. Would that count as an accidental malacha of cooking or no?
I don't think so, because usually we don't cook people, right? It's cooking is only something that you're going to eat, but not on. No, you're right.
You're changing the creation. Something was now something is burnt. Now something is dead.
No, but it was not. No, it was accident. It was not your intention. Actually, you're right. I apologize. I have to take it back. No, halacha applies even for cooking. Even in our case, we just said this wet t-shirt, this wet shirt. Of course, you do not care about this water to be cooked, correct? I mean, you just hang in there. But this water, even if it was not your intention, but it was cooked, so it's there is a halakhic term of psikration, right? Psikration. So that's not what we wanted, but that's what happened. Okay. So continue. Okay. So the sages therefore forbade placing a damp item for even one moment near the source of heat that could possibly heat into the scalding temperature if it would be left there. So it's very interesting concept that I have to explain. So the sages said if there is any potential that this food is going to get cooked, for example, you said I have piece of meat, right? It's going to take in a normal fire, it takes 2 hours, 3 hours to cook it, right? So this like 1/3 of this temperature when it's going to cook. They say it does not make any difference. Even if it's going to cook in 60 hours, it's still not allowed, even for 1 second. So it's very important. So we're talking about potential, not nothing else, right? So they say not even for 1 second put to this next to the source of heat. On the other hand, if it's going to dry by itself just because it's warm in the room, it's not your it's not your problem. And so somebody asked me this question recently: if you're allowed to take something from a refrigerator on Shabbat that was completely frozen. So the person might think is that I'm changing the state of the item, right? I don't know, whatever is ice cream, right? It was frozen, and you don't like frozen ice cream. You wanna when it's a little melted. Okay, it's your own business. Enjoy, no problem. But is it allowed? So the answer is it is allowed, because it was melted during the room temperature. You didn't do anything explicitly. You didn't put next to a radiator. You didn't put like on a sun. Or you didn't put to any source of heat. So there is no problem. Okay, but when we do something explicitly, that's the issue. Okay, continue. The prohibition pertains to dropping wet garment or towel near the oven or fire. Draping, I'm sorry. The prohibition pertains to draping a wet garment or towel near or an oven or fire over a radiator. So basically, nobody is cooking on radiator, but we know that during the winter it can heat up very much, right? Or over the hot pot that was removed from the fire, clearly shown. Okay, so basically, here's another solution. It was you had a pot of soup, right? Big pot of soup that was cooked, and now you remove it from the blech, right? From your platter, wherever you remove, you put it on your counter. So if you put something hot, like not hot, if you put something wet, it's going to dry, right? And it's removed from the source of the heat. So they say it does not make any difference. So this pot of soup is still capable of cooking. Okay, so continue. Wiping mud on a towel. Okay, so let's see. Another rabbinical prohibition. Let's see if we can finish. Another rabbinical prohibition related to laundry is the prohibition of wiping mud on a clean towel. That's a good question, right? The sages forbade this out of the concern that since the mud will render the towel unfit for further use, the mud can be rinsed off easily. One might forget and rinse the towel in violation of the prohibition of laundry. Thus, if one's shoes become muddy, he should not wipe them with a clean towel. So basically, the mud is you can wash it off easily. It's not like it's dirty. It's not like it's like something like what is it? Like a fatty. I mean, it's not going like oily. It's not going to make even a stain. So they say, do not, if you came from outside and you have these muddy shoes, right? Do not wipe it with a clean towel. Why? Because you might think, let me wash it quickly. It's my favorite towel, right? So our sages knew our psyche, and they say, don't do it. Don't touch it. Don't even wipe it with a clean towel with your shoes.
Great question.
Go ahead. Yes.
Sorry. So you're not allowed to wipe your shoes on a mat, but you're allowed to scrape them on stairs, correct? Like, are you allowed to scrape the mud off?
Okay. No. I'm sorry. On the mat, what's the problem with the mat? Tell me, please.
Sorry, I misunderstood that. So you're not allowed to wipe your shoes on a towel?
No, on a towel. With a towel. With a towel. He has these muddy spots, and he wants to take clean towel and quickly just has this I don't know, these expensive shoes. I don't know.
Okay, so with the towel.
With the towel. Yeah.
Okay.
On what is it? On the mat, there is no problem. I would say the bigger problem would be on the stairs. If, for example, the stairs are made of like a metal. Why? Because you're going to smooth you're going to scratch your the sole of your shoes.
Oh,
and it could be the prohibition of smoothing. We're not allowed to smooth. You understand? It's different prohibition. So I would say on a area rack or on a rack, not on a rack, like on a mat, doormat, there is no problem.
Okay.
Why? I didn't hear. Why is a towel a problem?
A towel a problem. So they say, but because it's very easy to remove the spot from this dirt from the towel, right? So a person might be tempted to wash it right away, wash it off, like just put it under the sink. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So what if, let's say he puts this towel on the floor and he uses it like a mat, not like he uses the towel with his hand to take it off his shoe.
Okay. So what I would say, so that's a different issue. There is no problem whatsoever. He shows that his intent just to leave it until the end of the showers. Let everybody wipe their feet. I'm going to wash it. After that, there is no problem. But we're saying it was he came in and his wife, his sister, his grandma gave him this clean towel to wipe his shoes. You understand? So and then she might be tempted to go and clean it quickly.
So let's say he wipes it off with let's say toilet paper, a baby wipe. It's okay.
Yeah, there is no problem because it's disposable. You're not going to go and clean it.
Understood.
So that's the only thing our sages did not want to put somebody in that situation that he might go and violate Shabbos. So in this case, whatever we said, just throw it out. Take disposable these napkins, facial tissue, whatever you take. There is no problem.
What if it's let's say a black shirt?
So if it's a clean shirt, that's the problem. If it's a shirt, for example, you took a shirt from a laundry bag, right? So you went to laundry anyway. It's dirty, whatever okay. So and you wiped it. There is no problem. There is no problem then. You didn't make it cleaner, and you're not going to be tempted to clean it. You understand? That's a good example. Thank you.
Are you allowed to use baby wipes on Shabbat?
Say it again.
You're allowed to use baby wipes on Shabbat?
Okay, so the question about the baby wipes. So what could be wrong with the baby wipes?
They may absorb.
No. It's opposite. It's ringing. It's actually have everything to do with our milach that we learning around. So if for example they're very like moist, right? So I would say when you just open the package, right, and they're on top. So when you wipe something with the baby wipe, it can squeeze the liquid, and squeezing is exactly what we learning about drinking.
So they're not permissible.
So 1 second. So if they a little dried up, right, and dried up meaning what? You can test the baby wipes. You touch with your finger the baby wipe, right? Your finger is wet. If it's going to bring the wetness to the next surface, yes or no? So if it is, so it's wet. So they say don't do it because you might wring it. Well, I mean, if you just like patch it like this, right? There is no problem. But if you try to wipe, so it could be a problem because you might squeeze it.
So it depends. Okay, thank you.
So basically, I would say just say be very careful. That's the issue. Okay, but good question. Okay.
But I was just wondering. I'm not sure why this would be a problem. Well, let's say you're using a baby wipe, right? And you have to wipe off your shoes, and your shoes have shoe polish on. Is that a problem at all, or no?
And your shoes have a shoe polish on?
Yeah.
Okay. So. So what he's asking, there are two issues in this situation. Okay, so first issue that squeezing the liquid from the baby wipe, right? So that's the first possible. We didn't say that is the issue, possible issue. And second possible issue that he's going to smooth out the leather, which is a different prohibition. So I would say, I mean, if it's if you do it gently, not to put not to press it, so I would say there is no problem, because every time when you want to shine your shoes, you have to press it harder, right? So I would say there is no problem, but there are, as we said, two possible prohibitions. Okay, continue. It is permitted, however, to wipe up the moist mat with a rag or paper towel, since one will not be disturbed by it's becoming soiled, right? Rubbing of rub and mud is forbidden due to the prohibition of grinding. Okay. So to wipe, as we said, to wipe moist mud, there is that's what we are talking about. To wipe to get rid of the rubbing of this dry mud is a problem. As we said, grinding is not forbidden. It is forbidden, as was one of the melachas on in the Beis Hamikdash.
Rabbi, I have a question.
Please, yes.
So on Shabbat, if there's like a spill and you try to, like, you're not allowed to clean anything up, are you allowed to put like a napkin over it so it just dries by
Yes,
itself?
that's the only way allowed. That's the only approach is allowed. So you put you put on the napkin, let it absorb, and then carefully they take by the corner so you don't squeeze.
Yeah,
and throw out.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what we do if there is a spill, so we put right away one napkin under the tablecloth, one on top, two on top, whatever you need, and then just throw them out carefully without squeezing. So the squeezing is an issue. That's the only issue. Did I answer your question, Abraham?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. You're welcome. Okay. So grinding is a different issue. So meaning when it's as we said before, the grinding pertains only to something that it grows from the land, meaning all of this fruits and vegetables and of course mud. But everything that is not growing from the earth, there is no problem. Like eggs, chicken, like meat and fish and stuff like that. Okay, so continue. Covering a bucket of water with a cloth. Okay, so today, I mean, maybe in all the days they have buckets of water and they cover it with a cloth. Let's see. It is forbidden to cover the bucket of water with a cloth because the cloth might fall in and become saturated, and one might then come and wring it out. However, if cloth is designated as a cover for a bucket, it may be used for that purpose. Since even if it becomes wet, one will not bother to wring it out. So of course, today I just think about like today's day and age, people like younger generation. What are you talking about? Bucket of water in the house covered with a piece of cloth? You normal? Okay, it is true. Today we have all the chemicals to wash our floors, and we have running water. But in olden days, you don't have not always have this running water. So you brought this. Water from the well. Let's say you wash your vegetables for your salad, and you're not going to spill your water. You can use this water to clean the floors. So you might clean these vegetables for Shabbos, and it's clean. I mean, it's not clean. You're not going to drink this water, but for your floors, it's what could be better. So you save yourself trickle. So it's very, very possible. And I remember that's what my grandma did. And yeah. So okay, so continue. So they say if it's like the rag that you use to wash the floors, so there is no problem. If it's going to fall inside of this bucket with water, there is no problem. Okay, but if it's something like of value, so don't do it. This piece of cloth of the value. Okay. Next one. Walking near the body of water. It is forbidden to walk near the body of water if there is a danger of falling in, since one's clothes would then become soaked, and he might wring them out. For example, one should not walk on the edge of the swimming pool. Similarly, one may not walk on a frozen body of water, even if it's relatively shallow, unless he's certain that the ice is thick enough to support his weight. Okay, so what it says here, very interesting. So don't. Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Why are we only worried about the ice supporting him, and we're not worried about the fact that, like, let's say just he takes a step. Every time he takes a step, the ice somewhat melts and soaks into his shoes, right? So why aren't they worried about soap?
No. What's up? There is no problem with ice like or snow. You're allowed to walk on the snow, on the mud, on the ice. There is no problem. Why would it? Okay. Okay. So the problem is they say be careful, do not get wet on Shabbos, because why? You're outside. You tend to drink it out. That's what you usually do. So don't do it, basically. Okay. So continue. So then they say that don't walk next to the body of water, next to the swimming pool, on the ice. Okay. Even if ice can support you. Okay, no problem. So don't put yourself in a dangerous situation. Continue. Summary of section 5. It is prohibited to hang wet clothing in the area normally used for hanging laundry. Okay. However, this is permitted if the clothing is crumpled. So meaning that's not how you dry, right? When you dry something out, you want it to be nice and like hang nice, so it would dry faster, right? Or visibly dirty. So it's visibly dirty, so everybody said that you did not do laundry. You just drying because what happened, right? According to some poskim, this prohibition does not pertain to clothing that is normally dry clean, meaning that suit nobody's going to try to wash his suit, right? It is prohibited to place a wet fabric in an area where it might become heated to a scalding temperature. So scalding temperature, this is Yatzel Lesbo. So, and I think another explanation for Yatzel Lesbo, they say if you pour this temperature, this water on the abdomen of the baby, it's going to burn him. I mean, for us, it's not a big deal, but for baby, it's going to burn the baby. So it's meaning very dangerous temperature. It is next one. It is prohibited to wipe up mud for this on clean towel. On clean towel, as we said, not what David said. David said if you put it on the floor, there is no problem. I mean, you clearly indicated that you're going to use it as a mat, and that's it, right? Nobody's going to go and clean it now, right? Next one. It is prohibited to cover bucket water with a cloth unless this cloth is designated for that purpose. Okay. And last one, it says it is prohibited to walk near the body of water when there is a danger of falling in. I mean, just stay safe. Okay. So I mean, I think we can stop here. We covered the whole section, and next we're going to do the next section. Almost done with this melacha. Okay. Any questions on what we said, what we did not say?
Oh, here, but it's about the cooking alachot, because I don't know here. I can ask it now.
Say it again about cooking. What about cooking?
Yes, because here I started cooking before sunset. And here in Argentina, we have cold temperatures, so we use natural gas stoves and heaters. Okay. And I leave the pot with the food over the surface, which is around 70 degrees Celsius. And I preserve the heat like that to eat the food hot.
Okay, so that's okay. So let me try to repeat and you tell me if I said it correctly, right? So you have a stove, right? So okay, but the thing about keeping the fire on Shabbos, it must be covered. You cannot keep it uncovered.
Yes, the natural gas heater has a metallic chassis. I don't know how to say.
No. But it should be something separate that does not belong to that heater. It's like separate that you show that separate piece of that I put to show to remind myself and to remind others. It's not my intention to cook. Even though you're cooking, you're cooking, but it's not my intention to cook. So let me give you a bigger picture about cooking on Shabbos. So it says that same. I'm going to use the same concept with the light. So if you turn the light on, right, it can be on for till the rest of the Shabbos. Same with the fire. So if you left the fire on, whether it's natural gas, as you said, as we also use natural gas, or you use electric, does not matter. Whatever, it's a source of heat that's capable of cooking. So you can leave it for you must leave it for the whole Shabbos, right? All of these 26 hours, right? 25 hours, okay, 25, or somebody absorbs 26, whatever you absorb, does not matter. And if you put something like before Shabbos, and you know that it's not going to cook until the next morning, you can put it even raw 2 minutes before the sunset. I give you an example. That's concept of cholant, right? And what is Bukhari? Osvayo? What was his name?
Общество.
Say it again.
Общество.
Общество. Okay. Yes. So it's the same concept. So it's not going to be ready in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 2 hours. It's going to be overnight. So even you put meat completely raw, so you know that you're not going to play with fire, you're not going to make it more or less, or move it this way or that way. It's irrelevant. It's 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. So by the next morning, it's going to be completely ready. So there is no problem there. You understand? So you can leave it. But if there is a possibility, so we're talking about red meat, right? But if we're talking about possibility, it's going to be ready tonight, like you're talking about chicken or right, or vegetables, so you're not allowed to leave it on a fire, right? Why? Because you might tend to do something about it. First, you said that you're going to stop this by this place and that place, so you're going to eat only at 9 p.m. Now, and something changed, and at 7 p.m. you want to eat, and it's not ready. So people would start doing some other things to speed up the cooking process, which is absolutely forbidden. Right? So cooking allowed? Yes and no. So if you start it like before Shabbat and you leave it there as light and it cooked by itself, no problem, it is allowed. But if it's not completely cooked, you're not allowed to put it on a blech or on a platter, whatever, on Shabbos. You're not allowed. So only you're allowed to warm up completely cooked food. Yeah.
So putting this in other way, so I prepared the food. I started to prepare the food several weeks ago. Before sunset, 1, 2, up to 3 hours, the food is ready. How is the proper way to leave it hot, or I must let it cool down?
No. Okay. One second. So you cooked and in 3 hours it got ready. So
in very anticipation to avoid issues. I cooked in very anticipation.
All right. Okay. So the best way, straightforward way. So to make sure that everything is cooked before Shabbos, before the sunset, you're done with all, before the candle lighting, you're done with all your cooking. That's the perfect way. Another risky way, so if you start before, whatever, I don't know, let's say this dish takes 3 hours to cook, let's say, right, 3 hours to cook. So you started 2 hours before the sunset and 1 hour after sunset. So you went to synagogue. By the time you come from synagogue, of course, it's more than 1 hour since the sunset, and it is ready. Right? So if you're not going to be tempted to do something like to speed up the cooking, there is no problem. But the best way to...
Yes. I mean, every Shabbos, I ensure that the food I prepare is totally cooked before sunset.
That's it.
But the main doubts are how to leave the food hot or let it cool down.
All right. Okay, cool. So say it's a different question. Okay. So I mean, we're going to learn in details. I'm just giving you the summary because you're asking a very big question. So there are 2 ways. One way is to cook this cholant thing that cooks overnight. So when you cook overnight, it cooks. This red meat, this potato, whatever, vegetables, whatever, rice, whatever you cook. So it's going to be ready only overnight. So in 12 hours. So it's ready and it is hot, right? Or if you leave something on the blech, right, before you go into shul, so you put like after before the sunset, you leave something on the blech, right, and the hot, it's hot, but it's not going to spoil the food, right? It's like above the yatzel bo, and you're going to have a warm meal. There is no problem. You understand? So, but for the next day, the only way is like to have something in a slow cooker. So I mean, we bought this small slow cooker pot, and it's like magic. It's unbelievable.
Okay. I leave the next question for another time because they are very complex questions.
Okay, so yeah, let's leave it. The second time, the next time is tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem. So let's leave it for tomorrow.
Rabbi, question.
Please.
Okay. So Rav Avadia says if someone doesn't keep Shabbos, you can give him a loan with interest. Okay. So my question is like, so let's say.
Sorry. I just want to clarify. It's not that he said. It's Shulchan Aruch says. He just repeats it. He did not make his own halacha. So don't you don't blame him. That's Shulchan Aruch. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So let's say Rav Avadia says it's forbidden to make tea on Shabbos, something like that. Let's just say, I'm not sure what his actual psak is, but let's say.
Okay.
But Reb Moshe Feinstein says allowed. So so if someone follows Rav Avadia, is he allowed to give Reb Moshe Feinstein a loan with interest or no?
No. Okay. Wow. I love this question. So in summary, halacha is opposite. Halacha is. I know we're not. I just saying. So Ashkenazim do not cook tea on Shabbos. So without if the temperature of the water is above Yatzel bo, as we said, is 43 degrees. What is it? So we're not going to cook. We're not going to put the tea back and pour water. Never, ever, right? So we have our own ways from a few hundred years ago, right? From thousands years. That's. But Sephardic custom, if not everybody, but the ones who goes by Rav Avadia, so he allowed to do that in a secondary vessel, a tertiary vessel. Meaning you have your hot water in a teapot, right? So from teapot you put it in one cup, in a third cup. So he said there is no cooking in a tertiary vessel. For us, for Ashkenazim, there is cooking. For Sephardim, it's not cooking. That's a minor difference. But in this case, so since there are two very strong opinions of big sages, it's not like somebody is not Shomer Shabbos. Shomer Shabbos, it means that something like on a biblical level. Even rabbinical, but this is even among Ashkenazim, for example, there is some people who would put this tea back and do it in tertiary vessel because it's not like Ashkenazim poskim or Sephardim poskim. But Rav Avadia, for example, he draw conclusion based on what he learned from others and his own decision. And Rav Moshe Feinstein said he took into consideration other poskim and said this is way too dangerous. That's it. So just stay away. So it's not like clear cooking.
Cool question.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning Slichot starts, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So I apologize. I gave you a wrong answer. So I thought, why would I say the second day? And then I remember why I say the second day starts. I remember. So there is not a difference between Ashkenazi custom and Sephardi custom. So Ashkenaz custom, we start saying Ledovit, that is say psalm on the Shacharis in the morning and after Marib on the second day of Rosh Chodesh, because second day of Rosh Chodesh is the first day of Elul. So when we have Rosh Chodesh for 2 days, So first day of Rosh Chodesh is the 30th day of the previous month, and the second day is the first day of the current month. It's not like many people think it's first and second. Absolutely not. It's 30th and the first. So that's why I figured out why I do this. I said it wrong. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Sure, you're welcome. Any other questions?
Why did Ashkenazim decide to take on Yiddish instead of Lashon HaKodesh?
Okay. So I answer it quickly because I don't want to hold people. So many people, as you know, they adopted the languages where they went to exile, right? And plus the Lashon HaKodesh, meaning Ibrit, so it was too holy, and they say, so people, it's actually, they did it on purpose. They said, we don't want to use this holy language, this holy that the Torah was written on, for mundane things. So I want to go to the bathroom, I want to go change, I want to go this and go wipe the baby. Yeah, you understand? That's not what Lashon HaKodesh was written for. They adopted this Yiddish. That's it.
Understood.
And it's not like they did not know the Lashon HaKodesh. It's all of the rabbis, all of these great sages spoke Yiddish. There is no problem. Okay, so we stop here.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. And until tomorrow, same
tomorrow.
time. B'ezrat Hashem.
B'ezrat Hashem.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Thank you.
אני מברך את הרבנים, רגע. אני מברך את הרבנים, הרב ירון ראובן, הרב אפרים כחלון, ראשי ארגון בעזרת השם, שהלכו בפי עליון, שעלו מעלה, יהיה להם ברכה והצלחה, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא משאלות ליבם לטובה ולברכה, שבכל אשר יפנו ישכילו ויצליחו, יזכרו לעשות כאלה וכאלה, הודיעו תורה לאדירה, אמן ואמן.
בעזרת השם רשת בכל הארץ. הוא היהודי הזה, הוא היה מיליונר, סגר את כל הביזנס, אמר אני משקיע פה בעולמה של תורה. איפה הוא גר? בפלורידה. פלורידה, איפה זה פלורידה? באמריקה. במיימי. כן, ליד. אנחנו שם עכשיו הולכים להקים קהילה ספרדית. חזק אותו בשמי. קהילה ספרדית גדולה. תעבירו מה שבירכתי אותו. כן, קהילה ספרדית גדולה. כן.